What is going on, everybody? It is Alex coming back at you with another video, and today we are finishing off this mock draft with round 3 of 3. So a lot of you guys have joined me on this journey. It's been absolutely awesome, and I love your guys' feedback. We have guys who I have in my top 15 who are still on the board. Why do I not take them earlier? Sometimes players just don't go earlier. It just happens. Felix isn't a great player. That's the guy who I'm mentioning, but guys like Sidney Brown are absolutely incredible as well. Good players fall. That's just what happens in the draft. We see guys who I even have in my top 32 who end up becoming like 5th, 6th rounders. And, that's just part of the game. That is. Some teams like a player, some teams don't. Some people forget about players. And, we're here. All we can do is start picking from this point on. I'm going to do a quick little recap so you guys can see. You guys can pause it. I'll try my best to make sure that you guys have moments to where you can pause it, hence why I'm talking to you guys while I'm scrolling as well. But it's been one hell of a journey where, of course, we're going to be continuing to re-reference all of these picks while we're drafting. This is all live because I think it's a bit boring to, just pre-plan every single pick. But at pick number 64 for the Chicago Bears, have had an interesting job rebuilding the defensive line, excuse me. And I think the right thing to do now is protect Justin Fields any way that you can. I don't see any of these tackles doing anything. I've been watching the Senior Bowl, which if you guys have not already done so, join the Discord because I have access to media credentialed tape where you can watch every single rep. And, we just did that last night. Would love to see some Joshua Gray tape based on how high PFF is on him because definitely not somebody who ever popped out to me when I was watching. So we'll be excited to dive a little bit deeper. But looking at the guys available, there's some incredible players. And one of those is Oluwatimi. He's had some struggles for sure. But analyzing the way Michigan used him, analyzing his mistakes as well in those one-on-ones, he is best suited for a system that wants to have a mobile quarterback be able to be on the move and use his mobility properly. And Olusegun is, in my opinion, one of the best pulling offensive linemen in this draft. Definitely somebody where he can fit at guard, he can fit at center as well. I think that's a great addition to the team. He has, his issues are pertaining to his anchor. And if you are on the move, which Michigan did so well, and what I think the Bears can do so well, is that's going to be what covers it up. And he's really strong besides that. So I really do like the potential of Oluwatimi on the Bears. For the Cowboys, we traded back. And originally, my thought process was, hey, we're going to move back and get Rashee Rice. And obviously, I go to SMU. Rashee is my buddy. And I would love to show him that type of love. I don't think I can. And he's just been really he's really struggling at separation. And to me, I see the errors that I saw in person popping up at the Senior Bowl. And I want to give him all the credit in the world. And I'll try to bring him onto the show and try to give him that publicity because I want the best for him in life. And, with the right coaching, I'm sure he can be even more badass than he already was at SMU. But based on that play, I cannot put him in the top 65. And this board is going to totally be reinvigorated as soon as we're done with the Senior Bowl. I don't like making adjustments until after the fact. So to me, when I'm looking at it, we've gotten Emmanuel Forbes and then we traded back here. I think the best thing to do, honestly, is get the best player available. And the Big 12 guy right here, Felix Anudike-Uzomah. I don't think edge is a primary need, but also with the potential character issues of Sam Williams literally crashing a couple miles from where I live, and he's had issues before. I definitely think that getting that rotational edge rusher, one, it also saves money, but two, it provides that extra oomph to that defense and adds that security blanket while also still getting a badass player. So I certainly love that for the Cowboys. Cardinals, I know that we went after Jalen Carter with that first pick. We went Nolan Smith with the second. I think the best thing to do here is continue helping out the offensive line. Tackles are all gone. Steve Avila is great. I'm going to go after Luke Whippler because I think Rodney Hudson's going to retire, but also Luke is very young, so he is able to play both guard and tackle. Guard and center, excuse me, not tackle. So definitely like that for him. Of course, because he is a junior, could not go to the Senior Bowl. But pick number 67 for the Indianapolis Colts via Indianapolis. Did I say Indianapolis Colts? Oh man, I was going to say the Indianapolis Colts via Indianapolis. The Broncos via the Colts. Um, I, I mean, honestly, Sidney Brown's a little too good to pass on. I love Sidney Brown. I think that he'd be great. We already factored in a trade for Sean Payton, which we were very lucky to do that. Technically speaking, just to make things right, we have to send that second rounder next year to the Saints. So I forgot what the compensation fully was, but I know it's not going to affect this mock draft. There you go. So now that everything is in order, I think the right thing to do, because you can't get a tackle, probably to go after edge or else just something on the defense. And I think I want to just go best player available. I know the safeties are really good on this team, but I mean, maybe honestly, this is a mock draft with trades. Let's find a team that needs a safety and let's go Sidney Brown, because he has been absolutely phenomenal. I've been able to just, like, my eyes are gushing over this guy. Like, he is incredible. So for me, looking at a team that might need him, it sucks that the Steelers do not have a pick in this round, because I think Sidney Brown would be an amazing Steeler. I'm pretty sure that the Bills already got Jamie Robinson in the last round, who also has been phenomenal. So Antonio Johnson's already been taken for them. I honestly think a team that could love him is the Patriots. I'm a big fan of the Patriots making this move. Sidney Brown has been just awesome. And funnily enough, Kirby Joseph from Illinois last year, this was the Senior Bowls where I fell in love with him. His ability in the red zone for just intercepting guys, it popped off. And I certainly think that this could be a very similar situation. So I feel like it might require 2 of the later picks to get through, but honestly, it's not going to affect this mock draft. So I think that's the best thing that you can do for this team right now, is to go after somebody who is so talented in Sidney Brown. Mike Morris, also a really good player. You still got guys like Derek Hall who are incredible. Honestly, to me, I kind of want to take Derek Hall right here. He has 35-inch arms, so definitely somebody who uses his length really well. He's done a very good job in the Senior Bowl. I want to see him work on his balance a bit better, but the fact is he has all the tools that you need, so I'm very excited for that. Let's take a quick peek back on the rest of my board to see who is still on the board. Of course, this is going to change because Isaiah McGuire has just looked absolutely dog water. Kayshon Boutte, there's off-the-field stuff that has yet to be fully investigated, so holding off on there. Justin Shorter deserves to go ASAP. I love me some Justin Shorter. Besides that, Xavier Hutchinson, great player. I'm pretty sure Garrett Williams still might be on the board, and he is not, thank God, because he's really good. Julius Brents, another guy who deserves some love. This is not fully up to date either based on the guys who are here. I just have that feeling inside of me that I'm missing out on some really, really good players. But still, some good players not yet taken. And guys like Will McDonald certainly going to go very soon because they have had themselves a week. And this is a perfect team to take them. They're looking at a guy similar size. And Will McDonald will end up going in the second, if not first round. The great thing about the Senior Bowl is it pulls you out of your system. It shows basically, okay, what are you going to do one-on-one? Like, what is your pure talent outside of the system you're in? And you look at guys like Oluwatimi. He looks vulnerable because he's not on the move. His anchor issues are apparent. But when you look at someone like Will McDonald, he was in 3-man fronts. He just never was in a position to truly shine. And at the beginning of the year, that's why I had him so high. It's like I saw what he could do one-on-one. And he almost looked fed up with it this year. And to be honest, based on his play very recently in the Senior Bowl, I don't blame him. He deserves to be pushed back up into the first. I had him as a top 15 player at one point. I'm going to be pushing him probably back into the top 20. He looks phenomenal. Arm length, incredible. Just that skill, that finesse is just top tier. And I'm all here for it. He looked like Kayvon Thibodeau, but 90% of him to me. And I still fully think that he could be that good. So pick number 70. This is the spot where I am going to draft Tanner McKee, a perfect system quarterback. Of course, Derek Carr might not be on his way out, but this is kind of maybe assuming that he is. This is a guy worth taking here in the 3rd round. I just think the value is right. Tanner is just, to me, underwhelming. So to see him go here is honestly not that big of a surprise. For the Falcons, Tyree Wilson was that first round pick. Checking what we did in this round right here, Zay Flowers. So I know my buddy Cam Marino, who is a big Falcons guy, gonna love that. So great for him on that front. Looking at other positions that I would love to look at, I just repeated myself, I know. Looking at the corners, I think Julius Brents fits. He does. He reminds me a lot of Alontae Taylor, which they play twice a year. And just his play style is very Alontae Taylor-esque. Deserves to be taken in this third round for sure. Does not have the polish that I'm looking for, but he goes to K-State. I think that is something that could be learned. Pick number 72. So yeah, we just traded back with this pick, and that was what the Patriots moved up for Sidney Brown for. And again, I wish there were tackles. I do. I think that would be the kind of best return on your investment because, I think that's the big position. But I also know that your offensive line needs a little bit of help. Pretty sure that left guard spot with Dalton Reisner is going to be occupied. Andrew Voorhees is perfect for that. He's someone who's fallen on my board because he just didn't take a step up. It almost felt like he took a little bit of a step back. And as a polished prospect, you need to continue refining your game. And I just didn't see that. I didn't. And he's had injuries that held him out. So to me, somebody where I would be willing to take him in the second for sure. Like that's what my board definitely says. But I still have my reservations about it. Pick number 73. So speaking of Alontae Taylor, this squad could have used Tanner McKee for sure. But I'd honestly want a year of somebody else. I'm just going to be honest. Unless it's here in the third round. So looking at different ways that we can go about this, I want to check. I have a weird feeling I went a wide receiver for you guys. We went Josh Downs. Okay, that's why. So we went Lucas Van Ness and Josh Downs. A lot of you guys are saying we need a nose tackle like Siaki Ika. I'm just never going to draft Siaki Ika. I'm going to be honest. I have zero faith in him. We obviously got to watch more games of him, but literally the 4 games I've watched, it's just all the exact same result. Just somebody who's never going to succeed in the NFL, not fast enough, not honestly talented enough to be able to do much. And I just have that weird feeling he's not that good. He's just one of those guys I'm very low on. And if you want someone like that, I gotta tip my cap to Keanu Benton. He was someone who looked very subpar before the year. His body looked extremely awkward in his thin legs and stuff. But now he looks much better built, and it's starting to show. He has very strong arms. I love that he can club somebody. So definitely a big fan of that. So I think with that, I'm going to go Keanu Benton here. He deserves that respect, and I want to give it to him. So cheers to Keanu Benton. Pick number 74. So I came up with this idea, and it really depends on how the draft unfolds, of course. But I thought the Titans can have a very unique approach to how they can address this draft. And something that I'd be very intrigued with is trading back with a team maybe like Seattle. And if Seattle is trying to get somebody there at 11, or some team with maybe multiple second-round picks, and moving back, selecting a tackle at whatever spot you move back to, and recreating a kind of lesser, younger version of the Eagles receiving core. You have Burks, which we all come pretty much to A.J. Brown. Then you can get Hyatt, which is Quez Watkins. And then if you can get like Zay Flowers, you could pretty much, or not Zay Flowers, excuse me. Well, Zay Flowers would be great. But if you could get Tank Dell, that could give you your Devontae Smith. I don't know. It just was something that popped to me in the middle of the night. And I was like, interesting idea. But I want to hear what you guys think about that, because I think it would be really damn cool if you guys were able to acquire that type of capital. But with that being said, we've already addressed wide receiver. We have already addressed a tackle position. Now it's just more maintenance and looking at the guys who are best available. I'm not really a huge fan of the guys on the board. This is probably a position I want to trade back. And you have really good players. Justin Shorter's still here, though. Y'all know how much I love Justin Shorter. He's a top 32 player on my board. I'm going to double check what I did for you. You got Jalen Hyatt. It's too bad we don't have a small receiver here who's just kind of nimble. Tyler Scott could be kind of fun in that role. But to me, I don't think I'm going to go 2 receivers. I don't think going all offense is necessarily the best move. But we could go offensive line. Steve Avila is here, and it does fall off a cliff. I think that's going to be the best value for us right there, getting a guard slash center hybrid in Steve Avila. But at pick number 75, I already kind of regret the majority of the draft that I did for Houston. It's a good draft, but I still think that there's a lot to be had here. You got Jale Skinner, who's going to be your linebacker slash safety hybrid like Fred Warner. You have BJ Ojolari, and then you obviously have Bryce Young as well as Quentin Johnston. So that's a good group. That's a very good group of players. So I don't think it's bad, but I think when you do look at it, there's still something missing. And to me, I'm looking, damn, this defensive interior class just got so much worse. And Jadon Newton's not in this draft class, which is very annoying. I'm going to go after Keandre Coburn. He's better than Moro Ojomo in my eyes. He's 343 pounds of just pure animosity. He's kind of what I was hoping for from Siaki Ika. So if you like Ika, I feel like you'd like Keandre Coburn as well. Pick number 76. So I'm pretty sure we went Jack Campbell because I stole him from the Patriots. We did, and we went offensive tackle. That's a standard 1-2. Now, other positions I'd be willing to go. Looking at the safeties, Jair Brown and Christopher Smith are absolute ballers, and Brandon Joseph. The more I look at it, there are actually good safeties in this class down the board if they don't get taken early. I want to take the potential chance on Brandon Joseph. I know that he used to be a top 5 player in the draft for me just a little bit over a year and a half ago. So having that trust in him to be what he could be, and at least having him show it for a year, is totally worth it in my eyes to give him that love and potential respect there at pick 76. 77 for the Dolphins. Definitely went a tight end with Sam Laporta earlier. That's just what I do. Offensive line, we have obliterated it. And I don't even know if they have that weird dude. It's a weird school. I'm forgetting which one it was. But actually, it's Old Dominion's right tackle. So I don't know if they actually have Old Dominions. Yeah, Nick Saldiveri. I don't think that's somebody who I would necessarily take in the 3rd round, but someone who I want to give a shout out to, because if you guys are not watching the Senior Bowl, somebody who's been making some good plays. I think this is a good spot to look at some running backs, and there's some good ones on the board. Devon Achane should be a second, if not early second round pick. I'm not letting him slide any further. I know it's not a position that needs it, it's not a team that needs high-end running backs, but certainly one where, the Niners are going to choose a running back in the 3rd round. Pick number 78 for the Packers. We've already went a tight end. I think we already went a wide receiver. Actually, we moved up for a safety in round 1 for Brian Branch, and in round 2, 100% tight end. So this is a good spot to go after a wide receiver. And looking at the guys available, I honestly like Xavier Hutchinson a lot for this team. This is a good spot for Xavier Hutchinson. You could look at Parker Washington as well. There's good guys on the board. I'm going to go with Xavier Hutchinson here. He's had some very talented games, and he can bail out a team very much. If you really need him to get a jump ball, most of the time he's going to be the guy you can trust. So I like Xavier Hutchinson in this moment. Mike Morris is another edge rusher that I would recommend for this team. Somebody who, if I'm not mistaken, is a bit bigger, but I'm going to go with Xavier Hutchinson. Pick number 79 for the Colts. 100%. We definitely moved up. I think we used our 2nd round pick too. So we have CJ Stroud. Now we kind of have to do some damage control here. Hopefully offensive line was the free agent target, because I'm not seeing anybody who I'd be super stoked about at the moment. But looking at other positions, I would potentially want to look at a wide receiver, but I'm not seeing anybody worth it remotely. It's a bad spot. Corner, Caillou, you could just go Caillou, but Caillou's not that good. Daryl Luther's not awful. So this corner class, it actually isn't that good. It's just super top heavy. So I'm going to trade out of the spot. I am. And the thing is, someone has to be willing to trade up for somebody. So who can be a trade up target? I think running backs certainly could be the focus here. You got Tyjae Spears, Sean Tucker. I think those are going to be the guys who get the most hype at this moment. Because, Chase Brown as well in that mix. I'm looking for a team that wants that dynamic guy. And I feel like Tyjae Spears could be that version of Dameon Pierce. Not remotely as good as Dameon, but could be that third rounder that pops off and is an RB1. And I'm looking at the Lions here, and certainly a team where, in my opinion, I would love to try to at least get one of these guys. And they're in a good position, though. I don't think it's necessary. So looking at other teams that might want to add to their running back core, I'm looking at the Cowboys, and I'm looking at the Eagles as well. The Eagles are pretty much a running back or two, or running back in a position maybe away from really kicking some ass. And you have Kenny Gainwell there, who's awesome. I just don't want to trust Kenny Gainwell with a primary workload. I think Sean Tucker's worth making a move up. And we're going to be moving up with the Philadelphia Eagles. They don't need that many picks. I mean, look at the picks they have, 93, 95. They just don't need that many picks. And I think the goal for the Colts, start picking up future picks. And we traded away a lot. So we are going to offer this. The Eagles are going to move up. If you want it to be a third-round pick, make it that way. It's not going to affect this mock draft. But the Eagles are going to move up and select Sean Tucker. Just an absolute monster of a player. And someone who's been getting a lot less hype than I was expecting. Pick number 80 for Seattle. I just might continue bolstering this core with Mike Morris. But, I know that we already, and you got Cody Mock in there. Let's go after I like this idea. Let's go to Marvion Overshown. A very, very, very versatile linebacker. He's 6'4", 225 pounds, but he's a missile to the ball. So I like whenever I get to have that opportunity to get someone of that caliber. It's too bad Sidney Brown's still not on the board. I would love to have him pair up with Kirby Joseph there, as well as Devon Witherspoon if possible. That'd be you're pretty much rebuilding an entire DB core. But Chris Smith, someone who I have a lot of respect for. Linebacker is just not very plentiful at the moment. If you want to reach on somebody, where is the kid out of Sacramento State? I'm trying to find him. Servassier Dennis is pretty good as well. You know what? I want to show some love here to Ivan Pace. He has been on the money at the Senior Bowl, especially when rushing the passer. Someone who's been extremely highly technical, and I love it. I love it. Good short area quickness as well. So let's continue on here. Pick number 82. A tight end seems to be something that I'd be intrigued with, something I'd fancy. I want to make sure that we had not already done it, and we have. So another reason why I go and check back. Mike Morris seems to be the type of guy, someone who you could put on the inside or the outside. I like that versatility. Pick number 83. So, there's just not many positions this team needs. There's not. I might want to go just for another defensive interior at this point and just test out Gervon Dexter. As someone who has a lot of potential, it just doesn't look like he took that big step. Pick number 84 for the Chargers. We went a wide receiver and a tight end, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, Tank Dell as well as Michael Mayer seems to be quite the haul. So looking at another position to go after, I think edge rusher, because there's a potential cap casualty there in Khalil Mack. And I'm looking at Zach Harrison, and I love what I see. He has really good size and really good athleticism. If you are able to keep Khalil for another year, this is an amazing understudy. Pick number 85. Again, this team, in my opinion, does not need that much. I'm actually going to take a shot on a cornerback here, and this is going to be Caillou Blue Kelly, someone who could definitely go and learn under the ranks of some very talented corners. Pick number 86. I know we've already went a wide receiver for this team, but continuing to build them bigger and stronger is awesome. And I love how Rashee Rice, my buddy, is in the run game. So I definitely want to see how he can work with his former buddy, James Prochet, there in that same wide receiver room. Pick number 87. Another team where, honestly, I kind of want to test a wide receiver pick. And A.T. Perry seems to be the type of guy who I would love. Parker seems to be a great dude to just bring a little more oomph to the table, but A.T. Perry is just very fluid at that 6'5" frame. Definitely somebody who I would want to test out in the north. Pick number 88. Again, offensive line, kind of So I'm debating. I don't know if we got Clark Phillips. If we did, that would be absolutely it's great, but kind of a bummer because I would love to go THT. Have I gone DB every single time though? I'm 90% sure I've went DB both. I did. So I love going DB for the Jaguars. Now I think it's time to look maybe if we can convert one of these dudes to offensive line. And you know what? We're going Nick Saldiveri. He's been doing a really good job for the amount of training that an ODU offensive lineman has. Also, sick helmet. So, want to see him here training with the Jaguars to play that guard spot in the short run. Pick number 89. So, tight end, I don't know why they're saying it's that big of a need. I don't think it is. I'm pretty sure we've already gone after a DB as well in the previous round. And we did. We went Garrett Williams. So, Garrett Williams, and I believe we went after Jackson Smith and Jigba. So that's nice. That's a really good pairing. I would still potentially add another guy here, but there's just not a good enough deep. Well, there's Justin Shorter here. So I'm going to add him. Yeah, I could have taken him earlier, but it doesn't make sense with James Prochet. And Justin Shorter's not as good of a blocker. So I think he'd be a nice addition at 6'4" and some good speed as well. The Cowboys did lose out on Rashee Rice, but I love the idea of putting Parker Washington on this team and letting him just cook at his size. The Bills, again, we've already gotten one safety. Don't really think you need to continue going that route. We've already went offensive line. So getting more of a power back would never be a bad idea, and that's why I'm going to go Tank Bigsby for the Bills. Pick number 92, we have already gone after a running back in Zach Charbonnet. And then we've also gone after a tackle in DeJuan Jones. So looking at the tight ends available, my favorite tight end in the draft, in my opinion, Josh Whyle. Just a stud. He also ran over Sidney Brown, so that's going to be kind of cool. But he put on 20 pounds of weight and still looks so dynamic. It's great. Big number 93. This one, I'm going to go THT. I know that slot corner could be a big concern for them very soon. So going THT would be a great choice since he just won the DB of the year. Pick number 94 for the Chiefs. Again, I mean, you could look in the wide receiver room. We've already went D-line, and we've already gone offensive tackle, which is great. So got the offensive tackle. Defensive interior, I mean, you could go Siaki. You know, you are just getting a big guy in the middle, but I don't know. I don't like it. I don't really think there's anybody else that I'd be willing to take at this spot. And looking at guys like Jair Brown, Christopher Smith, I want a team to jump the Eagles to get one of them. Holy shit. Why do the Niners have 3 compensatories? That is ridiculous. That is insane. Wow. You know, cheers to the Niners, man. Cheers to the freaking Niners. So I think a team that could look for a safety could be Chicago Bears to add some more depth there. Other teams that I could just try to nab one for, not many, to be honest. I mean, Saints, maybe. Obviously, the Eagles are certainly going to be one of those teams. You can see the Steelers try to make a move up here, but 119 to 94 is going to require some hefty draft capital. So, like, we'll toss in like a 5-6. It doesn't really matter. I don't think there's just any value that's good enough for the Chiefs here. And to me, looking at a safety from Penn State and Jair Brown, something that I think the Steelers should have been at least intrigued with, they got the better player. But Jair Brown would have been a great choice for the Steelers. Pick number 95. I already told you, I already telegraphed what pick I think this will be. Christopher Smith joining that secondary. Just an absolute mauler. Pick number 96, I'm debating on just going Tuli Tuipulotu. I think the value is a little too good. But when I'm looking at somebody who's performed very well in Dorian Williams in those pass rushing drills, I don't think I can ignore it. For the Browns, Noah Sewell is on my mind, but I think the Lions are going to be like really keen on grabbing him. So the Detroit Lions are going to make a move up here. Finding where they are is now the new challenge of the day, though, because I have their next pick is 154. Holy shit. They're gonna toss in that future third from Minnesota, and you guys might say that's too expensive. I honestly don't. If Noah Sewell pans out, great build, and you have his brother, so Noah Sewell it is. Pick number 98 for Washington. Already went offensive line. I think a tight end would not be a bad choice. And looking at the guys available, it's kind of sad that they don't have the Clemson tight end here, but I would consider him in the zone. I think his name's Dennis Allen. Definitely somebody where at least you should look at him. But other positions to grab, we've already went after a DB, linebacker again, and I'm gonna go Dion Henley. I like Dion Henley, not as much as maybe the guy next to me, but certainly worth taking a shot on. The Niners, we already know they usually go after the guys who I don't like, so we're drafting Siaki Ika. It happens every year. Every year. Siaki Ika, I want to draft some offensive linemen here, so I think Joe Tippmann, another guy who I'm not a huge fan of, but a lot of people are, will go there to them. And then, I mean, DB-wise, looking at it, Jacorian Bennett's not bad. He's been doing a very good job, but I mean, I can see Darius Rush being a really good 49er after a very strong week. And then ending off the draft, we have another compensatory pick here for the Chiefs. And this one is going to be Cedric Tillman adding another boundary threat on the outside. So that is going to be the video. I will let you guys see the full results and scroll right to the end so you guys get to see a nice little recap there. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you on the far side. Peace.